Let me invite Mr. P. Narhari, Secretary and Commissioner, MSME Department, Govt of Madhya Pradesh, for giving his keynote address on reducing carbon footprint with clean fuel for industries. A huge round of applause for him, please.
Mr. Pankaj Bhutani, Mr. Hardeep Singh Rai, Mr. Souvik Goswami, Mr. Sandeep Trehan, Mr. R.K. Mehra, Mr. Gopi Arora, Ms. Shivani, Ms. Chandramohan Thakur, and all those present here on this occasion. Good morning to all of you. I would like to congratulate the APAC News Network, Think Gas, all other stakeholders for organizing this wonderful event, the Madhya Pradesh Edition of Green Summit for a better, cleaner and sustainable future. And thank you for inviting me for this inaugural session. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Pankaj Bhutani for throwing comprehensive light on the Central government's thoughts on taking forward natural gas. So, United Nations has said that to keep global warming to no more than 1.5 degrees centigrade, emissions need to be reduced by 45% by 2030 and reach net zero by 2050. So, as the human population increases, so does the need for resources. A growing global economy like India needs more basic materials and finished products to build housing and infrastructure, transport goods, and provide the amenities for life. But the production of materials like cement, steel, glass, etc., and finished goods produce greenhouse gas emissions. The demand for industrial products has risen considerably in the past 2 decades, along with energy consumption and CO2 emissions. So we all understand we are an aspirational society, and our society is willing to spend a little bit more money that is actually available in their pockets. So in an aspirational society, we need to balance both the aspirations as well as the United Nations goals or the goals set by Government of India. Industry has a vital role to play in reducing greenhouse gas emissions throughout the product life cycle, from raw material extraction through production, use and disposal. The industrial sector comprises a quarter of India's total annual greenhouse emissions, gas emissions. The industry also consumes more than half the total electricity produced in the country, which comprises another 40% of the national greenhouse gas emissions. As India transitions from an agricultural to a manufacturing-based economy, the industrial sector is set to continue to grow, highlighting the need to decouple growth from emissions. So there have been several interventions by industries, MSMEs, startups for reducing carbon footprints. Changing the way we work to reduce our carbon footprint is at the forefront of business conversation. Monitoring energy use, reduce water usage, reward the green commute, review logistics, switch to green energy, recycle and reduce packaging. These are the areas where we are all working and several interventions are taking place. The industry is one such sector which can collectively cut carbon emissions by taking certain necessary steps. Scale up research and development to create new options for low carbon industrial processes. Audit the energy use and resource efficiency of operations to identify cost-effective, high-impact productions. Understand exposure to climate risk and take precautions. Embrace the opportunities associated with renewable energy and reduce efficiency. One of the areas which is highly emerging and which needs to be really looked into is the area of startups. Maybe Government of India and state governments, we should work together to see how better interventions and very low cost solutions can be brought in. And there needs to be, I mean, when we talk about research and development, we need to have a lot of such garages where, a lot of startups actually come in and play a very key role in all the areas that I have mentioned just now. And they could be really, and this is where government of Madhya Pradesh is actually doing a remarkable work, wherein especially for the manufacturing, when we talk about manufacturing is the key area and the most important area wherein the startup needs to be given a big push, and that is where we have come up with a policy for actually giving incentives and also giving subsidies on the investment that startups are actually getting. Investors' growing emphasis on environmental, social, and governance factors needs to be needs to be looked into, and these are the key factors of transition of industries from conventional fuels to clean fuels. Reducing costs of renewable energy, government support to facilitate renewable energy investment, role of renewable energy becoming increasingly important for energy security and climate change mitigation is what we need to be looked into. While we appreciate that, the the reduced use of fossil fuels, there is also an increased emphasis on renewable energy. Now, this is another area which we all need to look into very carefully. With increased awareness, with generations questioning on the excessive use of fossil fuels and the reduction in the use of fossil fuels, we need to actually also see to it how we can reduce the costs on the plant and machinery when it comes to renewable energy production industries. So while we move towards renewable energy sector, Asia Pacific countries are leading in investments in the renewable energy transition. There is a growing interest of investors in the clean energy technology such as green hydrogen and energy storage. I was very keenly observing when Mr. Bhutani was mentioning about the increased emphasis on the natural gas, while there's a lot of discussion also which is going on the production, manufacturing of green hydrogen. Now, I really don't know how much is this happening, how much emphasis actually is being given at Government of India level, but it looks like there seems to be a lot of work which is happening. But how much is it actually getting converted? And where do we stand? And where is it that in coming years the renewable energy like green hydrogen will actually take the market space that's going to be available. Solar energy sector is leading in the new configurations such as pairing with storage and floating to solar. Supply chain strategies are also evolving in the midst of ongoing war and economic situation. The government is also pushing for EV adoption in India, which will be a key market driver of energy storage in India. Concerning the countries with highest carbon emissions, India with a total 2.3 billion metric tons accounts for 6.8% of total emissions in the world. India with more than 17% of the global population has contributed only around 4% of the global cumulative greenhouse emissions between 1850 and 2019. So as I was mentioning that this is what this data clearly mentions, like, while we actually have contributed less to the global emissions, our aspirational society is definitely going to make a difference. We are going to very quickly contribute excessively to the greenhouse emissions. So how we need to proceed is what we need to look into in the coming years. So as I was mentioning, Madhya Pradesh scenario and initiatives, and Mr. Bhutani was mentioning that Madhya Pradesh is one of the cleanest states. Indore and Bhopal taking lead as far as cities is concerned. The air quality index is an area where a lot of work is happening. While we have been naturally restored with green coverage and I always mention to my friends and colleagues and especially those coming from other cities, Madhya Pradesh is like the oxygen chamber. If you come here, I mean, if you take a flight from Delhi and land in Bhopal, as soon as you come out of the aircraft, I mean, somehow if you had a nasal congestion, it will immediately get cleared. If you have a throat congestion, it will immediately be cleared, and you'll feel that freshness of entering into a oxygen chamber. So seriously, we need to think, and cities like Delhi, where the equality has gone from worst to worst. So what we need to do is to look for better initiatives, and Government of Madhya Pradesh has taken various such initiatives to improve the business environment by continuing to bring in regulatory reforms and simplify procedures for the promotion and development of MSMEs in the state. My colleague Chandramohan Thakur, who is the member secretary of the Pollution Control Board, is here. He will talk a lot about the initiatives in the coming session. But as far as industries is concerned, Madhya Pradesh is home to all types of industries, which range from automobile to pharmaceutical, and from software to retail, and from textile trading to real estate. MSME sector, which I am actually the secretary of the department, it has an ability to make available cost-effective, low-volume, customized products, and also enjoys flexibility in its working to deliver as per the specific requirements. So, in order to reduce carbon footprints, there is a push to the MSMEs, and in the MSME Development Policy 2021, there is a provision to assistance in quality certification. The state government provides reimbursement for certification for ISO, BIS, BE certification to MSMEs. We also provide assistance to MSMEs for obtaining quality certification exclusively for export. We give financial assistance up to 5 lakhs for quality certifications, for up to 25 lakhs investment, and financial assistance up to 5 lakhs for energy audit expenses. I'm also happy to share that the state, the Government of India's initiative for Zero Defect, Zero Effect Z certification, which is for improving the recognition of MSMEs and reducing effect on environment. This particular policy is vehemently being implemented. The central government provides for financial assistance for obtaining Z certification. In addition to what Government of India gives, Government of MP provides assistance up to 50% of the balance amount to MSMEs. To reduce environmental damage and minimize industrial waste, assistance for setting up effluent treatment plants is also provided under MSME policy. And as far as the energy sector is concerned, Think Gas, Mega Gas, and all such organizations for which Government of India has actually provided some kind of licenses. We are also providing land for setting up their facilities. I'm happy to share that we are going to the cabinet with your proposals for allocation of land to ensure that you actually establish your facilities. So we are here to actually assist on one side Government of India's initiatives for increased usage of natural gas. On the other side, we are also very keen for establishing clean industries, increased focus on renewable energies, and also try to see to it how Madhya Pradesh can be a better example for all these kind of initiatives and for reducing the carbon footprints with clean fuel for industries. Thank you so much for inviting me for this particular session. I'm very hopeful that this is going to be a wonderful session today and will lead to a lot of better initiatives for future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sri P. Narhari, IAS Secretary and Commissioner, MSME Department, Government of Madhya Pradesh, for sharing his vision, his thoughts on how we all can work together in terms of clean fuel, green energy, mitigating the effects of climate, especially for the industrial sector. And the sole aim of creating this kind of knowledge sharing platform, sir, has been that we all come out of our silos, we all work in silos. But this kind of knowledge sharing platform actually gives us the opportunity to think beyond the given position we ought to think. We can think out of the box and we can try to create that blueprint for the future sustainability environment. And I'm happy to share with you that this knowledge sharing platform, this event is not the end, it is the beginning, because we document the outcomes of the events and then we share with the stakeholders so that some work can be done based on the discussion and some also in the policy formulation, be it for state governments or government of India. Thank you so much for your inputs, and I'm sure I saw smiling faces of Hardeep and Sandeep ji when you were saying that your department is playing the role of facilitator and you're also trying to give lands for the industry to set up. And I think again that's a welcome stage. I think the government of Madhya Pradesh deserves a round of applause for that as well. Thank you so much. I request Shivani to come on stage and hand over the grant to Mr. Narhari. Again, we are talking about sustainability. I'll request Mr. Hardeep Singh Rai, Mr. Bhutani, Mr. Chandamohan Thakur and Sandeep ji and Mr. Akil to come on stage for a group photo, because I think Narahari sir has to leave. So before that, we can have a group photo together. Mr. Mehra, you can also join us, please.
अरे ग्रुप आएगा भाई, जूम कर लेना, जूम कर ले ग्रुप पे.
Thank you so much, Sri P. Narahari, for giving the keynote address.